Okay, got a lot of vocabulary today. Every parabola has a focus, which is a point inside of it. I'm going to highlight that here in pink. And here's a sideways one, and here's that focus sideways. And that fixed point is what we call the focus of the parabola. And then there's a line outside. This line is the directrix. So I'm going to highlight that in pink. So we have the focus. And the focus always is on the axis of symmetry, by the way. And the directrix is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry, by the way. But what you do notice is that the distance from the focus to the parabola, and then perpendicularly speaking to the directrix, this distance from here to here is the same as the distance from here to here. And this is a different point. This distance is the same as this distance here. All right, so this focus is an important characteristic of a parabola. So we're going to go down here to the bottom of the page, and we're going to start to talk about how we define what the focus are and what the directrix is in any given parabola. And I'm going to bring out my highlighter here. You can find the equation of a vertical parabola with the vertex at the origin by using the geometric definition. If you denote the focus as 0C, the directrix is the line with the equation y equals negative C. All right? So this distance from the origin to the focus is C. And this distance from the origin to the directrix is C. It's the same distance. This is actually whatever this distance is, which is 1 unit, looks like in this particular graph. That unit is the focal length. All right? So we're going to use this, and we're going to create some equations for parabolas. So it says, note that the equation has the expected quadratic form y equals ax squared for a vertical parabola with vertex at 0, 0. The coefficient a, this is important, we're going to use this, equals 1 over 4c. That's the same c that is the focus, 0C, and the same C that is the directrix y equals negative C. So this is the key to shifting between the algebraic and geometric formulas. So here we go. It says, what is the equation of the parabola with the vertex at the origin and the focus of 0, 2? So would you agree this right here is a C? All right, and our equation for a parabola with a vertex at the origin is y equals ax squared, but a equals 1 over 4c, which in this case is 1 over 4 times 2, which is 1/8. And you know I got the 2 from right here because c is 2 because of the focus. So my equation is going to be y equals 1/8 x squared. That's the equation for my parabola with its vertex at 0, 0. So it says, what are the focus and directrix of the parabola with the equation y equals negative 1/12 x squared? So keep in mind, this right here is A, and A equals 1 over 4c, which in our case equals negative 1 over 12, right? So you agree you can cross multiply, right? So we would get negative 4c equals 12. Divide both sides by -4, we get c equals -3. All right, so we're using that formula. So our focus is going to be 0, -3, and that's because it's our C. And the directrix is the equation y equals 3. And this is because we use the equation y equals -c. And c is -3, so negative c gives us +3. So, now, all we have to do really is switch x and y, and we get a horizontal parabola with a vertex at 0, 0. The coefficient a equals 1 over 4c determines both the focus, which this time, because it's sideways, is c0, and the directrix, x, instead of y, equals -c. So now you can do them either way. Okay, let's turn the page. All right. What is an equation of a parabola with the vertex at the origin and a directrix of x equals 1.25? So would you agree this right here equals -c, right? So I have 1.25 equals -c, so c equals -1.25. Important because our equation is x equals a y squared. And the reason I know it's that way and not y equals a x squared is because my directrix is a vertical line. So I know it's a sideways one because it's an x equals instead of a y equals. So my equation is x equals a y squared. Now, a equals 1 over 4c, which is 1 over 4 times -1.25, which is -1/5. Gotta love calculators. All right, so we have x equals -1/5 y squared. All right, what are the vertex, focus, and directrix of the parabola with the equation x equals 0.75 y squared? So would you agree a, which equals 1 over 4c, equals 0.75, right? Now, if you just put a 1 under here, you can cross multiply. And when you cross multiply, you get 3c equals 1, which gives you c equals 1/3. .75 times 4 equals 3. 1 times 1 equals 1. Divide both sides by 3. Get 1/3. All right, so our vertex, do you know how we know that our vertex is 0, 0? Because we don't have an h and a k. Remember h and k in our lovely equation? We don't have an h and a k because that's our vertex. Okay, so next, our focus is C0, which is 1/3 0, and our directrix is x equals -c, so we get x equals -1/3. Okay, the next thing is a little bit trickier, and you might need to refer to it as you do your homework, and that is at the bottom of the page. And basically, this relates to translating parabolas. So right here, we have a vertical parabola and a horizontal parabola. A vertical parabola is like this or this, and horizontal is when it's like this or this. Okay? The equation, we've got the focus and the directrix. So if the vertex is 0, 0, it's y equals 1 over 4c x squared, 0c, y equals negative c, just like we've worked out. All right, let's put h and k into the scenario. If we stick h and k into the scenario, our focus is now different. Instead of 0c, we have h and k plus c. All right? The h and the k are moving it. It's a translation. And our directrix is y equals k minus c. So the equation 1 over 4c times x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. Same thing works if it's sideways. Before, the equation was x equals 1 over 4cy squared. We now have y minus k squared plus h. The focus, which was c0, is now h plus c, k, because the h goes with the x value and the k goes with the y value. And the directrix is x equals h minus c. All right, so this might take some practice to work with, and we might need to refer back to it as we work on this. So let's go ahead and let's do some examples. Okay, what are the vertex, focus, and directrix of the parabola with this equation? Now, here's the first thing. This is not in the form where we can find the vertex. We've got options. You guys know how to switch this around, right? One of those ways is completing the square, right? Okay. Another way is we can use, remember we used to find the vertex is hk, where h equals negative b over 2a and k equals f of h. Oops, let's get that on the screen. So we can find our vertex like that. We can remember, I think you guys actually preferred doing that method to find your vertex form, because that's what we need. We need this in vertex form. So let's go ahead and do the first one like that. So h equals negative 4 over 2 times 1. Do you see where all those come from? From this equation, my a is 1 and my b is negative 4. So this equals 2, so h is 2. K is going to be 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 8. And that's 4 minus 8 plus 8 is just 4, right? So my vertex, this ring a bell? Is 2, 4. What is A in this problem? 1. Okay, so if we go to put this in vertex form, here's what it looks like. This is going to be y equals 1 x minus 2 quantity squared plus 4. Would you agree? Okay, so here's what we need. We've got A equals 1 over 4c, which equals 1. And if it helps, put a 1 down there too. So cross multiply and you get 4c equals 1, so c equals 1/4. Agree? Okay. So focus. Anyone want to guess?
Wait, where'd you get the C in that equation?
This is the formula.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. The focus, you got it.
So let's go back. So the focus
Your H
is H,
plus your C.
K plus C. Should we write that in there? So we're going to do that. This is H and K plus C. So what's H? 2. And what is K plus C? 4 and a fourth, which is 4 and a fourth. There we go. You can write this as 4.25. You can write this as 17/4. You know where 17/4 comes from? 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17/4. So all those different ways. Oops, that's not negative. I'll make it an arrow so you realize it's not negative. All right. So let's go and do our directrix. And let's go back here. Directrix is y equals k minus c. So let's write that in here. Okay, so ours is going to be y equals, what's k?
4.
Minus c, which is 1/4, which will give you y equals 3 3/4, which you can write as 3.75, or you can write as 15/4. Any way you want. You want me to do one more? Let's do one more. Okay. Shall we do it the same way? Or do you want to do the completing the square way?
Same way.
Same way? Okay. So, H equals 8 over 2 times 1 equals 4. And K equals 4 squared.
Is it a -4?
Ooh, you're right. Good call. Okay, so going to need a calculator on this one. We've got 16 minus 32 plus 18 gives us 2. So would you agree our vertex is -4, 2? Okay? And what's A? 1. So we've got A equals 1 over 4C equals 1 over 1, which gives us 4C equals 1, and C equals 1/4. So far, so good? Okay. Let's do our equation. We have y equals x plus 4, quantity squared, plus 2. Agree? This is minus h plus k. Okay. Focus. H and k plus c. What's h? -4. And 2 1/4. Which you can write as 2.25 or 9/4. All right, directrix. And this is y equals k minus c, which is y equals what? Which would be, whoops, I put a 3. 1 3/4, which is also 1.75, which is also 7/4. You can put it in any of those forms.